constantly, quite frankly. I'm tired of it. And it's just all a big dialectic, create the crisis on both sides. This whole thing is pretty much staged between Netanyahu and Obama. They're manipulating their supporters. It's a real fight between the Netanyahu supporters on the right-wing side and Obama and his socialist. I mean, the George Soros crowd are always super rich, and they always support, go after the police, overthrow Israel. It's the same. It's just that they've got their red meat issues that are red herrings. So I want to take a few calls from you on those subjects. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. I mean, I don't like Israel trying to sink the USS Liberty, and then if you criticize it, you get called anti-Semitic. No, I'm against false flags. Our government has staged a bunch of false flags. People in our government. Bobby Kennedy. RFK, it was declassified 6-7 years ago. It was even on Frontline. Wanted to blow up the U.S. Embassy in Honduras and blame his political enemies. I think Bobby Kennedy was a pretty good guy in a lot of ways, but his brother said, no, we're not going to blow up the embassy and kill people. But that's how you start thinking up there at the top. Well, if I do this, I can blame this, and then it'll save all these lives. False flags are going on. You better believe it. But fast forwarding, when our government does a false flag or elements of it, I don't then hate America. So Israel's been involved in some nasty stuff. Do you just blame Israel whole hog? Israel's about 8 different political parties, 3 big ones. The political parties are always killing each other, just like the Arabs are always killing each other. I mean, Israel isn't one monolithic structure is what I'm saying. And I'm not even defending or apologizing for Israel. I'm just sick and tired of people that don't stand up for the Second Amendment or sovereignty or anti-GMO. All they do is run around bashing Israel all day. And then on the other end, you've got people that do nothing but support Israel all day, as if Israel is the center of the known universe. And I'm just tired of it. And I don't like the fact that they hand out M16s to Israelis to protect themselves, and then the Israel lobby gives money, you can look it up, to restrict the Second Amendment. I'm angry about that. I'm calling Israel out. I want it to stop. I have a right to defend myself, Netanyahu, just like you have a right to defend yourself. And if you think Iran's got nukes and you think you can deal with it, then do something about it. But it's all part of this globalism, too, where I don't like Obama, and I kind of like seeing him be criticized, but it is weird to have a foreign leader in the Congress criticizing your president. I mean, are you going to see Obama go over there to the Knesset and criticize Benjamin Netanyahu? It just, the whole thing stinks to high heaven. And I wish that I could be more supportive of Israel. I was a big Israel supporter growing up, big Israel supporter when I was first on air. Everybody knows it. The clips are out there because I saw the UN and the globalists and Soros-type groups always funding anti-Israel stuff. So I thought, well, if the UN's against Israel, I must be for it. But then a bunch of the Israel lobbies have ever done is try to destroy me, so I'm just kind of like, well, that's not very nice. So it's a sick situation. It's a complex situation. But I'm not going to be a hater. I'm not going to hate the Arabs. I'm not going to hate the Muslims. I'm not going to hate the Israelis. I'm not going to hate anybody. I'm just going to promote freedom, common sense, private property, and my right to defend myself. And anybody comes after those freedoms, I'm coming after you politically. And you can say I'm a racist all day long or anti-Semitic or whatever. I don't care. I want stability. I want prosperity. I want a future. I believe in humanity. Every child, whether they be Palestinian or Israeli or German or Chinese or Mexican. I want everybody to be free because that's what I want for me, and I know you reap what you sow. We're going to go to break and go to Matt, Dana, Blake, Frank, got a couple Franks, Kevin, and others that are patiently holding on the whole Israel situation and Benjamin Netanyahu's speech. The whole thing's a mess. That's why we should cut all foreign aid and get out of this. And that means to Egypt, that means to Israel, that means to everybody. And then just engage in trade, the surest form of actually having lasting relationships like Switzerland and others do. Before we go any further, we've got two specials that are going to end here in just a few days. Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Complex. Strongest, highest quality, known herbal immunity, health booster, you name it. Very low price, $14.95 for something of this quality. And I put it in water and drink it and put it right in your mouth. Tastes good, too. Some of our tinctures don't. You can get a free bottle of this with 2 bottles of Nascent Iodine X2. And I'm taking my daily dose. Sometimes I take 2 or 3 dosages, but I took probably a little too much this weekend of all this. Squirt of the Nascent Iodine X2. Squirt of Secret 12. Super Vitamin B12, InfoWarsLife.com. And finally, Super Female Vitality. We're out of the Super Male Vitality. The big secret is Super Female works just as good or better. In fact, it has more ingredients that are tailored for men and women, but women wanted their own formulation, so we got a little bit of this left. It's 30% off right now, even though we could sell out of it the next day or two. 30% off Super Female Vitality, because I want you to try it and see what's best for you. And your purchase makes the broadcast possible. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
By now, you heard about Bitcoins, but did you know that over 65,000 businesses accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know BidBit.co, because at BidBit.co, you can receive Bitcoin by selling your personal items or business products. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your products quickly, easily, and securely at BidBit.co. That's BidBit.co. BidBit.co.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey clean water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
You hear about it every day. Another shooting where innocent people lose their lives. The best insurance is being prepared. Give your loved ones the safety they deserve with a bulletproof backpack. Independently tested to withstand a .357 and multiple other calibers. Perfect for students, commuters, anyone. Shield yourself and your family. Call 8445-BULLET. That's 8445-BULLET, or see the proof at bulletproofbp.com. Bulletproofbp.com. We've got your back.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you can consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com.
Open phones and news till the bottom of the next hour. Then popping in is World Affairs Brief editor Joel Skousen to give his take on the Netanyahu visit. And then we've got Dr. Steve Pieczenik with his view. Pieczenik is Jewish, and and is not a fan of Israel at the same time. I don't know what his view overall is going to be. Let's say he's not a fan of Netanyahu. So we'll get two perspectives from people I know will tell us what they really think. It is a mess, though. Man, I hope Netanyahu doesn't attack Iran just for political points. I mean, if Netanyahu hadn't come out with that fake WMD stuff, I'd believe him a lot more. I just know this. The Pentagon says don't hit Iran. And you heard Fine earlier, who's a really smart guy, saying they don't have nukes. That's the CIA's baloney. I have talked to high-level people who I trust, and they say, look, they got them. And they've had them for a long time. There are a lot of nukes out there, folks. Saudi Arabia, I told you 6, 7 years ago they had them. And then last year, they said, we're getting nukes, and we probably already have them. Saudi Arabia. I just don't want to have a nuclear war. This is not 1980, you know, with Israel hitting Iraq's reactor. But if the Iranians get mad and blow stuff up as a response, Israel knows they'll get more support, and then the government can take more liberties here. So that's why 4 tyrants that are above our governments, the special interests that make money off war, this is a good move to start a big war with Iran. But if you go too far, we'll have a nuclear war and everybody's dead. Then that kind of screws stuff up, kind of messes up the apple cart, doesn't it? Dana in New Mexico. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. Listen, I wanted to make the point that I had to come into a mindset that just because Israel, they're corrupt just like our government is. That doesn't mean that the people of Israel are bad, and I know that's not what you're saying.
Absolutely. No, exactly. I'm saying Israel has its own problems, but I'm not part of the religion of hating Israel.
Exactly, and I think a lot of believers are not opening their heads up to the fact that that God says those that bless Israel will be blessed, and those that curse Israel. We're not going against that. We're just opening our minds up to those facts, and we're having an awakening. And so people need to ask themselves that instead of just disregarding.
Well, look at the Bible. Look at how God would criticize and admonish Israel when Israel had bad kings or bad leaders. It's not God being bad criticizing Israel. I mean, is God God or is Israel God? I think that's what it comes down to.
Exactly. And I just want to make that clear to other people that they need to open their minds up to that. So, and I want to let you know that you have many, many people praying for you and your safety of your whole crew. So, and
you know what? It's not. It's beyond believing in prayer. I rely on it. I totally know it's real. Thank you so much. You're a sweetheart, and God bless you, Dana. Blake in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, yeah, just wanted to kind of, I guess, riff off of Dana's comment regarding Israel. The situation I think we have is that Israel is not Israel. I mean, yeah, the Bible says to support Israel, but not under any circumstances, and certainly not when Israel has been hijacked just like America has. I think one message we need to get out to Christians is look at the Health Basket Committee. That's Israel's version of the death panels that Obamacare has, where they determine what medical procedures are paid for by the Israeli government. Well, they voted recently.
I'll tell you what, stay there. I'm going to come back to you. Don't hang up, Blake. Then we'll go to Frank, Andrew, and Mike and others. Stay with us. Third hour, straight up.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with Super Male or Super Female Vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.